All right, Candle Range Theory Trader back with you with another video going over fixed risk to reward versus asymmetric compounding. So I'm going to explain this and go kind of slow for anyone who's unfamiliar with this concept and just talk you through this risk management strategy. So the first risk management strategy that we have is, I'm just going to start with a $300 balance, is we're going to risk 10% of our account to try to make 30%, 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. This says 1 to 2, it should be 1 to 3. So we'll change that. All right. Now, so this is risky because 10% is a large chunk of the account. All right. And that's it. That's all we're going to do. We'll just compound the profits and see what happens. So as well, though, with the second model, what we're going to do is asymmetric compounding is we're going to risk 5% to try to get 15%. But then what we do is if we win a trade, what we do is we're on house money at that point. We're going to risk all the profits in order to hyperextend our growth. Okay. In other words, what that means is this: if we were to win this trade, see, I'm risking 15 to get 45. What I'll do after a win is I will risk all the profits. I'll put the 45 here, and we're going to do the same risk to reward ratio. We're going to risk 45 to try to make 135. And if we win that, then obviously the 300 that well, this will be different. So, but let me do this. We'll leave that there. That will be 345 like that. And then we risk all $45. Okay, that's where that's coming from. So we just drop down here. We're risking 45 to still get 145, to still get 135, but the new balance will be 480. Okay, instead of the regular 397 if we were just keeping straight risk to reward. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, but all we're doing is just risking the profit once. After we do that, then we drop back down to risking 5%. Okay, we don't keep risking all the profits. We only do it once. Okay, so it's going to be back and forth. So once again, we try to win 2 trades in a row in asymmetric model and see how it works out. This straight model, we just risk a fixed 10% of the account no matter what the balance is. So we're going to do 10 simulated trades and see how it shakes out. I'll talk you through this. And to simulate the trades, we're going to do 10 trades with flipping a coin. Heads is the trade will be a winner. Tails means the trade is a loser. So let's get into it. So the first trade will be a winner. All right, so we'll put our win there. 9 more to go. So up here, if we risk our 3 to 1 here, that means our new balance is going to be 390. And down here, our new balance is going to be 345. But remember what I just said, we're going to risk all the profits, okay, asymmetric compounding. So if this trade hits, then the new balance will be 480. And up here, the new balance will be 507. That's how it's going to look. So let's go ahead and flip and see what happens. Okay, so that is a winner. So let's take a look and see how we shake out now. So up here, our new balance is 507. And down here, our balance is 480. But here's one thing I want you to keep in mind. If we had lost this trade, we would be back down to our original $300. Okay, so because we're only risking house money, it's a risk-free trade at that point. Okay, so let's flip again and see what happens. And now we're going back down to the 5%. Okay, well, this is a loss. Zero that out. All right, so the loss is now 456 up here. Down here, it's also 456. Okay, let's take another trade. That will be another loser. So we're at a 50% win rate. Over here, our loss balance is 410. And over here, our loss balance is 433. And then let's do one more. Then we'll do a midpoint check-in and see where everything is. Okay, so that is a winner. So over here, our new win balance is 533. And on the asymmetric side, our new balance is 498 with a risk now of 65 bucks. So let's press pause here for a second. So let's see where we are. So right now, same win-loss, okay? 5 trades, 3 wins, 2 losses. This model is giving us 533 with $233 in profit. This model, our balance is 498 with 198 in profit. Now, let's take a look though at our worst case scenario real quick before we take our next trade. If this next trade is a loser, this balance will go down to 480 and this balance will go to 433. Okay, because remember, we're just risking profit at that point. But what's the amount we could stand to gain? This amount right here, we're trying to go for 160. This amount we're going for 195. Okay. So, and it looks like the win balance will still be the same. So they're running neck and neck. So let's take a look, see what happens. Okay, so that was a win. All right, so the new win balance over here is 693. And let me put the win here. So 693. And we're done risking all the profit there for now. And over here, the new balance is also 693. So we're tied. Let's take another trade. I think we got 4 more. Okay, so that was a loss. So loss balance over here is 624. Over here, loss is 658. Okay, so if we notice, asymmetric has a slight lead over here. Okay, we got $358 in profit over here. And that's a 3 there. Okay, we got 324 over here. So they're still pretty close though. Let's flip again. Okay, so that was another loss. And this is good because we get to see what our drawdown looks like. So that's 562. And this one here is 625. Look at that. Now that's interesting. That's a big drop there. Okay, that's a big drop. Because remember, we're risking 10% on one, 5 on the other. Okay, and I think did I do the next loss? No. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, 2 more trades, and let's see how we end up. Okay, so that was another loss. So our balance here is 506. Balance down here, 594. One more trade. That was another loss. Okay, so loss balance here is 455. Loss balance here, 564. All right, so that's with 10 trades. That is with a 40% win rate. Our final numbers, we only got the asymmetric compound, I believe, once, and one turned out to be a winner. But that winner did help protect our downside because we can see here the asymmetric model, we ended up with $264 in profit. And over here, we ended up with $155 in profit. So, up to you. You got to determine what fits you the best. So, and just play with the numbers. See what risk management system works best for you. But I would say the one that protects your downside more is likely a better system. So what I'll do is I'll do a few more just because I feel like it. So if you want to stop the video here, you can, but this is just for my own edification. So I'm going to do 10 more. Okay, that's a winner. 592 here. 649. And we're going to risk 85. Okay, that's a loser. So loss balance is 533, 617. Next trade. Make sure I zero out the risk there. That's another loser. 480, 586. Next trade. That is a winner. 624, 674 with $88 worth of risk because we're risking all the profits. That's a loser. 562. And loss balance here is 586. We'll zero that out. Next. Okay, we have a winner. 731. 674 with $88 risk on the next trade because that's the profit. That was a winner. 950. 938. Okay, zero that out because we made profit. So now we're starting over, risking 5%. 3 more trades. That is a winner. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1079. Risking 141. Two more trades. Okay, that was a loser. 938. 1112. Last trade. If it's a winner, I'll do one more to see if it asymmetric compounds, but if it's a loss, yeah, we'll just leave it at a loss. Okay, all right, so loss. 1001 and 891. Okay, so that was 9 losses and I'm sorry, 9 wins, 11 losses. So we lost more than we won. We still ended up with profit, but take a look at this now. Profit on the 1030 model was 701, and the profit on the asymmetric model was 591. So that's interesting. Okay, so obviously, the more you trade, the more the numbers are just going to fluctuate and go up and down. Again, look at the drawdown, determine what you think you will be able to handle. And remember, both accounts just started with 300 bucks. So, you ended up with 891 here and over 1,000 here. That's still good after 20 trades. But again, it's just a matter of what you're comfortable with. So, like I said, that's just something that you can ponder. So if you just like the straight model, go with that one. But if you like less drawdowns, but again, possible less returns, then you want to do the asymmetric model. But and again, you can also play with the percentages. Maybe you want to do, 5% risk up here, or maybe you want to do 10% risk down here. That would be up to you. But again, test, experiment, see what fits best. Okay, there's no one size fits all to this thing. You have to do what works best for you. But that's the end of the video. I appreciate your time and attention. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.